at Directorate of Distance Education, Madurai Kamaraj University, for making it more lively sessions. From the morning, I was able to listen to some of the sessions. Of course, some of the sessions I was unable to join. Anyhow, I welcome one and all to this session on smartphone addiction, cyberbullying, and social anxiety. So this is my area of interest. Cybercrime is my area of interest. But this time, we have ventured into a new concept, psychological concept called social anxiety. In order to understand what happens to those people who are in cyberspace frequently. Of course, to start with, as Professor Ramakrishnan, during his felicitation, addressed that there is nothing without E now. The letter E is very much used in the contemporary context, and perhaps it has both the good advantages and disadvantages. Without any doubt, the advantages or disadvantages cannot be discounted. It is an order of the day. To start with, let me just first introduce the first slide. The topic: smartphone addiction, cyberbullying, and then social anxiety. So, smartphone pervasiveness is a serious problem throughout the world. It's not the problem only with India. If anybody has that negative connotation, please excuse yourself. There is a big advantage of being in online and updated, but however, there is a negative impact on their well-being, the user's well-being. So, among that serious issue, we have a small peculiar problem called cyberbullying. A bullying that normally happens to the teenagers, especially those who are in schools and colleges. So we wanted to venture into this particular area. We had a team. I myself, Dr. Usha Rani from Department of Psychology, Women's Christian College, and Ms. Sujamani from Department of Psychology, Presidency College, Chennai. Both of them, we three went with an idea to understand what happens to those people who are in cyber victimization, especially the cyberbullying, and we wanted to understand the social anxiety component of it. So we have ventured into it. Of course, this is a paper published recently on April issue of MR journal, which is a Scopus journal and UGC CAD listed journal. So this smartphone addiction does several damage to the individual. Of course, the advantages, if I'm going to list, it is not going to end. But there is something called social maladjustment, which actually comes with this smartphone usage. There are a number of relationship problems. It actually puts you in the social anxiety. So these are the symptoms. If I'm going to ask you, anybody has smartphone addiction, most of us will not agree. But among these symptoms, the symptoms that are given here, any four is available with you, then you are a smartphone addiction. Without any doubt, you don't have to take a second chance. This is a well documented literature from the psychological perspective. They need to use the smartphone more and more in order to get the desired effect. Normally, these terms are used, the desired effects are used in the addiction perspective. So failed attempts to use smartphone less often. So many times we wanted to stop, we are unable to stop, then that is one of the symptoms. Then preoccupation with smartphone. So here I have to mention, most of us, just before closing our eyes, just after opening our eyes, we take the mobile phone, get into it. If we don't do also, I would say that I should mention that there are so many literature supports that says that teenagers mostly go to bed after visiting the social media, and as well, as soon as they wake up, they do that. Then turn on cell phone when experiencing unwanted feeling. You feel unwanted, depressed, anxiety, then you are in serious trouble. Then excessive use. Without knowing how much you are using, many people lose sense of time, which is very much evident. And of course, we are not We are not the only group. Throughout the world it happened, because during the COVID pandemic, lockdown especially, we were all used to sit with the phones. Everybody who wanted to spend time, we were compelled to take it, and we were compelled to excessively use what was permitted in the internet. Then relationship or job at risk. This is another problem that directly links to the cyberbullying. Then tolerance. You develop some sort of a tolerance. You wanted to go for a new gadget, new apps, new smartphone, new applications, etc. Then withdrawal. This is another serious symptom that you have to understand. If you are unable to really use smartphone or network in an unreachable condition, then you are likely to have anger, tension, depression, irritability, restlessness. If either among the uh, 13 symptoms, if you have any four, then you are called a smartphone addict. So before jumping into the perspectives, I would like to introduce some of the important terms, so that it becomes much more easy for the audience to really take up the message. So what are the signs and symptoms of social anxiety? Blushing, fast heartbeat, trembling, sweating, upset of stomach or nausea, then trouble catching your breath, dizziness or lightheadedness. Sometimes these things also persist in patients, but out of not using cell phone, or out of using cell phone, or out of general perspective, if you have these things, then we are called socially anxiety. So types of cyber victimization, we have a lot of cyber victimization. I found in the schedule that one gentleman is going to talk about cyber victimization. So the cyber victimization that are connected to my topic of presentation is are harassment, stalking, then abuse, assault, hostility, happy slapping, then outing, then we have flaming. So the impact of this cyber victimization may be in cyberspace only. The impact may be in physical space only, or it may be in cyberspace and physical space. So you might think cyberbullying is a small act and how it's going to impact you. It is going to actually carry you to some other space, which we are going to see that in the later presentation, later slides. So what happens to a person when he is socially anxiety? So cyberbullied. He drops the social behavior, so avoids friends or social events, isolate his or herself in their room more than usual, becoming more quiet or withdrawn, finding it hard to concentrate on school works, grade droppings, losing interest in activities that they normally enjoy, skipping schools or colleges, expressing a desire to skip school or college, appearing angry when looking at their phones, tablet, or computers, hiding their phones or computer screens from your view, and avoiding using their phones, using drugs or alcohol, expressing dark thoughts or emotions, talking about suicide. All these things are some of the symptoms of the victims of cyberbullying. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not that this information may be useful to you or it may be useful to your social life. Maybe your sister, brother, son, daughter, father, mother, aunt, uncle, every grandmother, grandfather, everybody may have this problem. So please take away this information. When you find somebody with these characteristics, you may think you can infer that they have some problem with cyberbullying. So smartphone provides you a lot of media platform, and it gives you a lot of communication ways to share, spending no extra money. And that's the catchy thing in smartphones. When smartphones were introduced in India, everybody were feeling very bad that they will not be able to bring a smartphone. That much costly the phones were. Now it has come to the damn cheap level that even for 1,300, 400, you can get a smartphone. May not be a company phone, maybe it be a China phone or a Korea phone. So in terms of use of smartphones, 67.3% of the smartphone users were using 4 hours a day in a study conducted by KUD in 2019. Whereas in another study, among them, 20.7% were bullied victims, cyberbully victims. In another study by Aktrok and LZ, they have found that there is a huge uh, communication happening among the teenagers, and they consider that it makes them their life more easier, and they wanted to bridge this gap in socializing. Normally, there were days that few people get together in a place every day or sometime once in a week or a time to socialize themselves. Now it is taken up. Now it is cyberization. They do a cyber socialization, and of course, it costs you very less. So people prefer it. Of course, I told you, you have to keep in your mind that it all happened very much because of the COVID pandemic time. Otherwise, it should have been very slow. I would not say it cannot be done. It should have not been there. It should have been very slow. So what the harm that is going to do? So often, very much using internet and unregulated use of these platforms significantly harm individual lives. Lavanya and Prasad, from their study, they were able to understand that 84% of the samples was asked accessing cyberspace through smartphone or computer on regular basis, which has exposed them to the burnt of cyberbullying. So 85% of the users in a study was found to have been using smartphone or computers to regularly access cyberspace. Smartphone addiction. What does it do? The use of smartphone, which can equip you to transfer, to share photos, movies, personal informations. Of course, there is a big thing that is hidden is anonymity. People like to maintain relationship very much anonymous. So in the physical world, they try to avoid the relationship with others. However, in cyberspace, they talk to anybody they want, which they cannot do it in physical space. That is actually another catchy thing that smartphones have. Of course, we do have good and bad thing. There is no doubt. We were all conducting classes. We were a lot attending classes. We were all chatting, sharing things during our COVID that with the smartphones. So what is the problem is that the problem will emerge in time to come. So the excess amount of time spent in cyberspace through smartphones takes you a lot of time. Insomnia. It gives you sleep disorder, insomnia, and of course you are likely to become a victim of cyberbullying or any other cyber victimization, depressions, then violation of privacies, advertisements, and consumer rights. Now we have something called e-commerce, and it is now very much available everywhere, every corner of the smartphones. It comes, the pop-up comes. What is the harm that these things can give you is that the more you are using internet, it gives you mood swings, perceived social benefits when online. You think that you are online, you are very much happy. And negative consequences of internet use is very much submerged. So the result of these things can be seen in the academic performance of the students, especially the school goers and the college goers. 2 years everybody got through. Now they are in great trouble. They are unable to really write what they wanted to write, which they were doing quite 3 years ago. So 1 out of 5 students are reliant on smartphones. Emmanuel has found in his study. Of course, half of the participants admitted to using their smartphone excessively to escape their problems and improve their mood. As such, as a criminologist, I would not agree with this. However, the respondents' responses were that they felt that they were actually happy with being in smartphone. And several students admitted to be being bullied, harassed, and cornered in cyberspace by peers. Peers are the close associates of anybody. and have felt powerless since they are deeply wounded by humiliation and could not get the situation under control. So this was found in Lavanya and Prasad's study in 2014. So cyberbullying and victimization, how they are related. So cyberbullying is necessarily a victimization, cyber victimization. It's simply defined as any behavior performed through electronic media by individuals or group that repeatedly communicates hostile messages intended to inflict harm or discomfort on others. So cybercrime, cyberbullying is otherwise also defined as causing powerful harm to individual or group by frequently sending or posting hurtful and abusive text or photograph via internet or social media. So it was found in Volus and Limber study that overuse of smartphone by the school students make them victim of cyberbullying. So cyberbullying might be funny. Of course, we do have physical bully also, but cyberbullying is really uh, on the other side because everybody who wanted to use cyber smartphone accessing social media, they really wanted to enjoy time and they don't want to be bullied. Probably it's a problem that has to be addressed by many people, many researchers. Right, cyber victimization has the ability to inflict serious harm as well as increased social anxiety. There are several studies relating to cyber victimization and social anxiety, but whereas there are very few studies that can connect cyber bullying and social anxiety. So, few studies by Ang and Go 2010 and Pachin and Hinduja 2006. So, Pachin and Hinduja have developed a scale which has been used in our study. Of course, the work they have been continuously working in this area for quite a long time. So social networking sites such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and blogs have become a primary means of communication for college students. So this is the fast technology that is diffusing technology. It is actually spreading in a very, very faster range than what it was forecasted some 20 years ago. Some 20 years ago, they thought that there will be 100 million users. Now we have crossed 400 million users. And it is very rare to find anybody without mobile phone. Most of the teenagers, they prefer having only smartphones rather than a number phone because mobile phones are no more called as mobile phone, they are called smartphones only. Cyberbullying and victimization, there is a silent pain. So Martinez and Montego have found in their research that students with high cyberbullying profile presented a high score of social avoidance and distress in social situations. They don't want to really face it. The bullied, the victim, they try to keep away from the social life. Not only that, they don't want to talk to people also, even in the people of their own family. The peer gets avoided. Peer group, very close friends get avoided. Uncle's son, auntie's son, everybody gets avoided. And the problem is that it does not happen to only some people, and some people can be avoided. It will happen to anybody. It can happen to anybody, and it is happening to anybody. I have been a victim of cyberbullying, but of course, our pains were less because we were actually doing some research on it. Then somebody bullied me. Now, during this study, also we wanted to study some first-hand experience. So we all three tried for the experience. But we were not able to really get the experience because we were actually trying to make a uncontrolled. So empirical researchers have shown there are so many links between internet addiction and cyberbullying patterns. It was actually found by Sam and et al. Then Martinez also. There's a big question whether there is a gender difference in smartphone addiction and cyberbullying? The question remains yes. The answer remains yes. There is a gender disparity in smartphone addiction, which has been evident in so many studies. We are quoting few studies. So, Quietly et al. 2021, Al Barshid 2015, Usman et al. 2014, then Al-Joma 2016, then Bisan and Deshpande 2016. All these study evident that female were very much affected by cyberbullying compared to that of men. Of course, in this case, you have to take it in the other way. It does not mean that men does not get cyberbullied or they are not troubled. They are less troubled compared to that of a female. Normally, it sounds little unfair. However, there are evident that gender disparity exists in smartphone addiction and cyberbullying. Male students are more prone to smartphone addiction than female, but the victimization is otherwise. That female are more likely to be um, uh, bullied compared to that of male student, which was actually evident from Bole 2014 study, then Kohn and Peck in 2016 study. And in Italian context, the same results were availed by Di Pasquale. Of course, in contrast also there are some studies by Park and Lee in 2014 that found that Korean university ladies have greater rate of smartphone addiction than males. So this is something that is against. So in another investigation study by in Taiwan, Chiu and in German scholar Germany by Mr. Randler and et al. They also found that females were more addicted than men. So social anxiety and cyber victimization. So cyber victimization can happen to anybody. It can occur in any place, any cyber platform. May it be a chat site, may it be a social media, may it be an email, may it be a WhatsApp message, WhatsApp, may it be any other platform. So which was evident from many studies. Of course, there is one small question: how cyber victimization is linked to the development of social anxiety, which was addressed by Campbell et al. Study in 2012 and Dempsey in 2009. Of course, there are recent studies which are actually happening, and after 2017, there were less published work on these areas. According to Troy and Stroff, 1987, students with social anxiety are more likely to be victimized by others due to over display of worry, putting them at risk of victimization. So now you have to also add this variable. So if you have worries and you are able to, if you are displaying that in physical space, there was some problem. Whereas in Strauch and et al., they found that in 2003, there was a relational traumatization. Relational traumatization may be a dating matter or something like a problem with love, affairs, etc., etc. This was also very much considered as part of social anxiety and cyber victimization. So social anxiety was significantly associated with several forms of bullying involvement in adolescent with autism spectrum disorder, we call ASD, and attention deficit or hyperactive disorder, ADHD. These are two psychological conditions where the people frequently get victimized. Until we test for these two tests, we do not know whether we really have this problem or not. So in a study by Lee et al. 2021, they were able to establish that there was a big link, there was a big significant association between the bullying and the ASD and AHD. Cyber victimization and social anxiety symptoms in middle school was studied by Dempsey and et al. 2009 and Campbell by 2012. They found that higher level of anxiety than adolescents. There was big social difficulties as well, higher levels of anxiety than adolescents. Adolescents even more than adolescents. Teenagers have more problem with cyberbullying, and the victimization really persisted them. So here I have a small statistics for you. Sneknow and Fremo 2012 in their study found that college students who experienced cyber victimization reported frustration 46.25% and stress 40.9%, hurt 37.9%, angry 33.8%, and difficulties in concentrating 23.4%. Many this cyber victimization project was conducted with middle school and high school students. And all these problems are day-to-day problem, not like other problem. It is a day-to-day problem which will bring you a lot of changes in your behavior and expressions and your observation. Your daily routine will be challenged. Now I have a small question, and I have a small uh, positive thing for you. Then what happens? Uh, so what happens to you, to us, when there is a problem? Normally we know, normally a victim or a common man, they lose confidence, they lose patience, interest. They don't believe in the justice system. They have less sufficient time for on our request. But whereas the best qualities required to attend a problem is that you need to have confidence. You need to be patient and show some interest towards the fight and believe in justice and spend some sufficient time. Many people they wanted to do undo this very much immediately because knowledge is power. So I will stop here with this qualities and we will continue it later after our methodological presentation because I don't want to really present this methodology, but anyhow I just wanted to do it because some young students may be interested in researching in this area. For them this methodology part will be very much useful to them. So therefore we have taken up this study with the following objective: to study the relationship between the social anxiety and cyberbullying victimization and impact of smartphone addiction. So we had three hypotheses. Social anxiety will have no impact on cyberbullying victimization. Smartphone addiction will have no impact on cyberbullying victimization. And then the impact of social anxiety on cyberbullying will be moderated by smartphone addiction. So in order to achieve the objective of our study, as well to prove or disprove this hypothesis, we have used the following research methods. So participants in procedure, the subjects were 69 undergraduate female students, college students, ranging from 18 to 21. Of course, they were given very free hands. We have taken the consent from them, and we were able to give them three sets of questionnaires. So according to the respondents, it approximately took about 30 minutes to complete this tool. So scales used. This is very important part of my methodology, that SAS, smartphone addiction scale, developed by Kwan. The scale consists of 6 factors, 33 items with 6 points on Likert scale. Strongly agree to strongly disagree. And then one other scale, cyberbullying victimization scale, developed by Hinduja and Pachin, which has nine questions, 9 items in their questionnaire. And then Lib with social anxiety scale, that comprises of 24 social situations to be replied to twice on a 4-point scale from 0 for none to 3 severe for social fear and avoidance. So with these tools only we have organized this study. So research design, it was an ex post fact research correlation approach, because we have taken information about the past experience of the victims. Of course, two components, social fear and social avoidance, were summed together for social anxiety score. So other things, it is the methodological part. So to estimate moderator effect, the Andrew Hay process model was utilized. So the type 1 error rate is fixed at 10% level for testing the proposed hypothesis. So the results are this. So the numbers will not give you any detail anyhow, just to show that result I am just putting it up. So my result is followed by the discussion. There was an intercorrelation of variable is so weak and non-significant, showing a strong possibility of a moderated effect of smartphone addiction. This shows that the female undergraduate who overuse smartphone exhibit trance, withdrawal, the inability to control carvings, and lead to social anxiety, creating problems in their personal and social lives. So this lead to feel them this lead them to feel emotional distress and have difficulty experience when they are bullied. Of course, in the table 2, which we're going to see the next level, there was also a significant demonstration of the negative psychological repercussion of cyberbullying, such as stress,
Hello, hello.
anxiety, isolation, fear, and depression, contribute to poor academic performance and social and familial interaction. A similar result was actually found in a Coilette study 2021. The scores are this. So according to a study by Emmanuel, 1 out of every 5 students is entirely reliant on their smartphones, which we already seen. The participants have a strong urge to spend leisure time, which has a negative impact on self-control. So when the individuals, the victim or the user takes spend many times, very much time in the with the smartphone, they have the problem. The findings of the moderator regression analysis rejects hypothesis 1, 2, as well the hypothesis 3. This implies that the higher the social anxiety, the higher the cyberbullying victimization, and the higher the smartphone addiction. So higher the smartphone addiction, higher the cyberbullying victimization, and higher the social anxiety. And it is a reasonable to assume that these female undergraduates isolate themselves, avoid interpersonal relationship, and receive minimal social acceptability. So this is another test score. Of course, scores, you can just observe it. The interaction effect and the two main factors together account for 7% of the variation in cyberbullying victimization. This interaction component accounts for 5.1% of the variance. This indicates a significant moderate impact. Long-term use of smartphones, being preoccupied with them, and not being able to control them have negative psychological and educational and social ramification. Smartphone overuse is also being viewed as a new type of abuse and can lead to crime or victimization. Normally, in India, our experience is that we really don't conduct crimes. Instead, we become victims. So, according to Navarro, the amount of time spent on smartphone
அவரை பார்த்தாலே தூக்கம் வரும்.
increases the likelihood of displaying the cyberbullying attitude with the extensive daily use of internet and smartphones. Young people are at a high risk to be exposed to some form of cyberbullying by Tomic. So this is another analysis score between moderated effect of the smartphone addiction and. So this is pictorial format. You can see here, higher the smartphone use, higher the cyber victimization, higher the cyber victimization,
அது பாட்டுக்கு இருந்துட்டு போகுது, ஒன்று என்ன ஒன்று.
higher the social anxiety.
சரி.
So this is another explanation of that particular chart. The more the high level of smartphone addiction, on the other hand, have changed the association significantly, and it can actually result in
அப்படி போயிடுச்சுன்னா என் ஃபோன்ல இருந்து கனெக்ட்
social anxiety
ஃபோன்
as
இருக்குல்ல,
are linked to low level of cyberbullying victimization.
வைஃபை.
So similar result was found in a study by
அதனால
Liu,
தான் ஓடுது இவ்வளோ
Haiso, Cho,
நேரம்.
and Yan in China with cyber victimization and depression, the fully mediated relationship between cyber victimization and social anxiety. So which was also evident from Tom Peters' study in 2018. So now continuing with the knowledge part of it. So what we are supposed to do? What we are supposed to do when our brother, sister, uncle, aunt, father, mother gets victimized? Now it's a knowledge is power. Now what are we going to do? So believe it, that knowledge is power. So I'm sure many of you will be able to recognize, some of the young people may not be able to recognize. This gentleman is Mr. Abraham Lincoln. So his father was a cobbler. So cobbler. So once his father sent him to White House to check a shoe size for one mister. Then he went around. He was a small boy. He went around. He went around, and he felt that one day I should be here in White House.
Tomato.
So luckily he contested election. He lost in his first election as a councillor. Then later, after around 8 years, he became the president of United States of America. So this is example of achieving anything by anybody. So second thing that I would like to give you is this snake.
Yes.
So once we find the snake, normally we run away. See this gentleman, he is so knowledgeable. His knowledge makes him to work with two snakes. See the next picture will give you more confidence. Believe that you can do anything from it. See how he is able to handle. The problem is that understanding of the snake. This gentleman knows about snake, so therefore he is able to handle two things in hand without any fear. So all our brothers, sisters, and even of course our own self, we need to understand the problem, appropriately address it. Of course, with these takeaways, when you come across somebody with cyberbullying experience, then you have to address them properly, address them, give them the choice that you can do this. You can advise them, you can formally counsel them, guide them to come out from this. Because we are frequently going to find a lot of victims of cyberbullying. Frequently we are going to find. Without any doubt, I'm very sure we are going to find a lot of people coming up in days to come near us, our peer people, our colleagues, our friends. So therefore, please take away this information and use it in your daily life. So we can infer from the result of the study that smartphone addiction is high, more anxiety is associated with less cyberbullying victimization. So this presentation, we wanted to highlight the importance of the adoption of early detection system for socially anxious female graduates. So to better their daily social interaction. So therefore, if you have these symptoms, please try to keep up. That's the essence of this presentation. And of course, parents should be very careful because in a study conducted by Lavanya and Prasad in 2014, they were able to recommend strongly that parents should monitor the children's how much time they spent on smartphone. Make them go out and play, make them go out and meet aunt, uncle, send them to petty shops, send them to shoppings, and etc. This will actually keep these undergraduate students away from all these problems. Of course, anonymity is the serious issue that make the individual victim of cybercrime or cyber victimization, especially cyberbullying, which was evident from Jaishankar's work in 2020. He was able to understand that there are a lot of research he has done. He has also proposed a cyberspace transition theory. Those audience who are interested in understanding the theoretical part of it, the victimization and its impact, you can refer Dr. Jaishankar's space transaction theory. Space transaction theory, which says that wherever it happens, whatever it happens in cyberspace, the Jaishankar says that its impact is found in physical space. If not, at least the victim is to the victims, right? So cybercrime and bullying among the undergraduate can be avoided, resulting in purification of the cyberspace and construction of the healthy cyber culture. So I have few recommendations. So in future research somebody is doing, please consider men also. We are actually conducting one research on men now at this present time. And the education, digital education, probably Department of Computer Science can do this during the orientation program by providing viewpoints on cyberbullying, which is a crucial tool for preventing cyberbullying. So first, we have to introduce the problems to the students. Of course, during orientation, I think Department of Computer Science can take up this point and then educate the students in their university or the colleges also. So government, of course, there is no specific law for cyber crimes in our country. We have only an IT Act with which we are rolling around. Government is actually working on the cybercrime exclusive law, but it is taking time and again that they are unable to really come up with a law very shortly. They wanted it shortly, but the person who is working on it, he says every day things are expanding. And luckily, I was able to meet him, one Mr. Rai, who actually was the author of IT Act, was the chairman of the IT Act committee, and he is only working on the cybercrimes also. He was unable. He says, I am unable to really fix up the crimes. Of course, government should create guidelines, rules, regulations, and control mechanism with appropriate laws. User guides and awareness should be made mandatory for young users through all education institutions. Of course, UGC has sent a circular asking all the education institutions to organize a program on cyber crimes, victimization, and awareness, and preventive behavior also. Most of the colleges have done, most of the universities have done. Because of the COVID pandemic, much of the universities are not able to really do it, because when we do it online, the effectiveness of the online programs are really under challenge. And the most awaiting slide is that. Thank you.
Any questions?
So I have some references for your knowledge. For those who are interested, you can work on it. So anybody is interested in getting these slides, PowerPoint or the references, you may please mail to me. My mail address is there.
Any queries from?
Madam, I think I have done the justice. I have finished it on time. I'll be happy to take a few questions. So I could understand from the chat box that I was able to impress upon at least 2-3
Sir,
people.
can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Sir, it's a very nice presentations which you have given. Explain a great explanation about the smartphone addiction, cyberbullying, and social anxiety. The silent pain of cyberbullying and victimization, sir. You had clearly explained how it gives the silent pain for the genders by using the victimizations. Then gender differences in smartphone addiction as well as in the cyberbullying also. Social anxiety and cyber victimization you have described clearly, sir, what is what, and the hypothesis also you had given, as well as for the research students you have given some suggestions also. Very nice presentation, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, madam. It was my pleasure. If anybody is interested in more research, please contact me through my email. Thank you, madam.
Sure, sir. Thank you very much. Dear participants, around 3:30 we are starting our technical review. Sound. Dear participants, around 3:30 we are starting our technical review.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Shit. 7 minutes. சுமதி மேம் கனெக்ட் ஆயிட்டாங்களா இல்லையா? ப்ளீஸ் சுமதி. சுமதின்னு ஒருத்தவங்க வந்தாங்களா? நம்ம அதை சொல்ல முடியாது. நம்ம மாத்திட்டோம். இந்த குமார்னு போட்டிருந்திருக்கோம். இவ எழுதி வச்சதுல சுமதிங்க சுமதி குமார நாளைக்கு கொடுத்தேன். ஆனா அவர் கரெக்டா சொன்னாரு. மெயில் நீங்க 10 தானே போட்டீங்கன்னு கேட்டாரு. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டே குமார் மேம் கனெக்ட் ஆகுங்க மேம். ஓகே சரி மேம் உள்ள வந்துட்டாங்க நாங்க சுமதி அவங்களுக்கோ மேம் வாய்ஸ் இஸ் ஆடிபிள் மேம் கேட்கல அவங்க பேசுறது மேம் ப்ளீஸ் அன்மியூட் பண்ணுங்க மேம் சீனிவாசன் சார் ஸ்ரீனிவாசன் சார்
பண்ணிக்கலாம் பண்ணிக்கலாம் மேடம் பண்ணுங்க மேடம்
எல்லாத்துக்குமே இப்பதான் மேம் ஆகுது
மேம் கேன் யூ ஹியர் மீ மேம்
yes ma'am
okay ma'am we can continue them. Yes
comfortable with my audio okay ma'am thank you
yeah Jayanti ma'am can you hear me Jayanti ma'am, can you hear me ma'am? Dr. N. Muthuselvi madam, are you there? Uma Devi. Anjuha ma'am.
Ma'am, Anjugam.
Ma'am, Anjugam ma'am, can you present?
Now, ma'am?
Yes ma'am,
Okay.
Srinivasan sir.
மேடம்
அஞ்சுகம் மேம்க்கு மட்டும் கொடுங்க மத்த எல்லாருக்கும் ஆஃப் பண்ணிருங்க டிஸ்டர்ப்டா இருக்குது
சரி ஓகே
அஞ்சுகம் மேம் தென் சுமதி மேம் டாக்டர் சுமதி ராஜேஷ் okay
Ma'am, shall I share my screen?
Yes ma'am please start
Is it visible, ma'am? Ma'am? Indrani, ma'am? Hello?
Yes ma'am, you are audible ma'am. You can start your presentation ma'am.
Okay. Good afternoon to all. I am S. Anjugam, working as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science at Rajeshwari Vedasalam Government Arts College, Chengalpet. I am pursuing a research. I am pursuing PhD in SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Katangulathur, under the supervision of Dr. P.J. Arulina Rose, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Katangulathur. So my topic is a comparative analysis and discussion of deep learning models for COVID-19 detection using CT images. Abstract is COVID-19 is a fast spreading pandemic and early detection is crucial for stopping the spread of infection. Lung images are used in the detection of coronavirus infection. X-ray and CT images are available for detection of COVID-19. Deep learning models have proven efficient and perform better in many computational medical imaging applications. In the rise of the COVID pandemic, researchers are using deep learning models for prediction COVID-19 infection in lung images. The aim of this study is investigation and discussion of the various structure of deep learning models that are used for detecting coronavirus infection in lung images. The most popular deep learning models are AlexNet, ResNet, VGC, various versions, Inception, ResNet variation versions, and the exception models. This paper helps medical experts and the researchers to easily understand the working principles of deep learning techniques and how can also be potentially used in battle with the COVID-19. The introduction of my paper is coronavirus 2019 is caused by the virus SARS-CoV-2 that emerged in early December 2019 in Wuhan, China. It influences persons' respiratory tract. According to the World Health Organization, day by day, the death cases, confirmed cases are increased. It has a major symptoms, sir. It has a major symptoms such as sore throat, body ache, cough, fever, loss of smell, loss of taste, and etc. Several methods for diagnosing COVID-19 have been proposed, including a variety of imaging techniques, blood tests, and a PCR. According to the WHO, all corona disease diagnosis must be confirmed using the RT-PCR. However, it is a time-consuming which may lead to the disease spreading further from the affected persons, and the deep nasal swab are inconvenient. Because the lung region is the most infected by the virus, medical imaging modalities like X-ray and the CT are commonly used to assess the severity of the infection. Because they have wide availability, quick processing time, and low cost, X-ray images are frequently used in the diagnosis of COVID-19. However, CT imaging techniques are performed because they provide the detailed information about the infected area. Deep learning methods are widely used due to their superior performance over the traditional methods. Unlike traditional and machine learning methods, the features don't have to be handpicked. So even before the coronavirus pandemic, researchers used the deep learning methods to investigate the field of medical imaging. The study investigate and discuss the structure of deep learning models which are used to detect the coronavirus infection in lung images. So related work, I have referred around 40 papers from reputed journals like IEEE, Springer, etc. I have listed only few papers in this presentation. The first one, the authors Santosh Kumari et al. Published a paper on comparative analysis of deep learning models for COVID-19 detection, in which they have discussed the various structure of the deep learning models. Out of that, Inception, VGC 16, exception, and ResNet 50, they produce the accuracy. So out of these 4 exception generated 95% of accuracy. Then the authors Mishra et al. Published a paper on automated detection of COVID-19 from CT scan using convolutional neural network. They developed a model for automatic detections of COVID-19 and enhanced the performance of the model by incorporating several relevant optimization techniques and data augmentation techniques. They used 2 models, VGC 16 and ResNet 50. VGC 16 has generated 99.12% of accuracy, and ResNet 50 has generated 99.62% of accuracy. Then Dina M. et al. Used the various models and showed that VGC 16 and CNN model outperformed the other proposed models. This model has generated 98.05% of accuracy. Then Targolo used the that is generated a model for detecting the COVID-19 by using the concept of majority voting method based on the ReLU ELM, PReLU ELM, and TANH ReLU ELM predicted the outcome. They used the Tensor 201, which has generated 98.36% of accuracy. Next, the author Ali Abasian et al. Investigator 10 deep learning models. Out of this, ResNet 101 and the exception has generated 99.51 and 99.0% respectively. Then in the next authors, they explore the how well deep learning models trained on chest CT images can diagnose COVID-19 infected people in a fast and automated process. They use the DenseNet model, which has generated 99.4% of accuracy. So next, what are the architecture of the various deep learning models? This section discusses the architecture of the various deep learning models used for identify the COVID-19 using a chest CT images. These are the state-of-the-art deep learning models for image recognitions. The architecture design differ in order to achieve the greater representation power while reducing the computational complexity. The most advanced networks are Inception, Usenet, ResNet, Exception, DenseNet, BGC, 1619, AlexNet. The first network, AlexNet, it was the first conventional neural network that utilized the GPUs to increase the performance. So there are 5 convolutional layers, 3 maximum pooling layers, 2 normalization layers, 2 fully connected layers, and a single softmax layers. Non-linear attribution function value is used in each convolutional layer, and the pooling layers are used to achieve the maximum pooling. Due to the presence of fully connected layers, the input size is fixed, and this architecture has 60 billion parameters overall. So this is an architecture of AlexNet. The next model is a Inception. This was introduced by the Skady. First introduced as a Google Net, that is on the version of Inception V1 in 2014 as a deep convolutional architecture. This architecture has improved by adding batch normalization layers to speed up the training. That was in Inception V2, and the factorization of convolutional with the larger spatial filters for computational efficiency, that was in Inception V3. This model aim is to act as a multi-level feature extractor by computing 1x1, 2x, 3x3, and 5x5 convolutional within the same network module. The output of this filters is stacked along the channel dimension before being fit into the next network's next layer. The Inception V3 model supports the exceptional image recognitions and object localization performance. So this is the architecture of the first one is the architecture of the Inception model. The second one is architecture of the Q's model. The Q's model was developed by the Landau. It was a smaller network designed to replace the AlexNet. In comparison to the AlexNet, it has less than half the number of parameters. Its conventional layers have only 1x1 filters. The 1x1 and the 3x3 conventional filters are used in the expander layer as shown in the architecture figure. So next, ResNet model. ResNet 18, 34, 50, 101, and 152 are the various versions of the popular ResNet. The convolutional block and identity block appears in these models. In ResNet 50, the concept of skip connection was introduced. More 3 layers blocks were used to build a large ResNet like ResNet 101 and 152. The ResNet 101 has 101 layers and the ResNet 152 has 152 layers. In ResNet 152 layers, the ResNet 152 layer has a lower complexity compared to the VGC 60 or 90, even if it increase the network depth. The convolutional layers in ResNet 50, the 40 layers are the convolution layers. The remaining 2, one is a maximum pooling layer, another one is an average pooling layer. Image classification, object localization, and the deductions or all applications of this ResNet models. So this is a various the architecture of various ResNet model. So what are the layer size, input or user in the various models stored in the table, listed in the table. So next one is exception. It is a modified version of the Inception model, which replaces standard Inception models with the depth-wise separable convolutional. It is a serialization, is a lightest at just 91 MP. A large-scale image classification data set demonstrated that this exception outperformed the exception. The data set size was 350 billion image, which has 17,000 classes. Next network is a dense net. Dense net is a densely connected convolution layer. Um, each layer is connected to the every other layers. Between L layers, there will be a L of n plus 1 divided by 2 direct connection. The preceding layers feature maps are used as the input for the subsequent layer, and the layers feature map are used as the input for the next layer. It is possible to divide density into several dense blocks. So this is an architecture of the exception model, and it is an architecture of the dense net model, architecture of the various dense net model. So the next one is a VGC, Visual Geometric Group. It was developed by Karen Simonian at Oxford University. The convolution layers are rated sequentially in increase in depth in this model. By removing the large kernel size filter, it outperforms the Alex network. The kernel size of this model is 3x3. It has 16 or 19 convolution layers stacked one on the top of the other. So with 138 million parameters, this system can do anything. A layer of convolutional layer, network layer is applied to the image before it can be processed further. The next comes to the maximum pooling layer, which follows the first and the second layers of convolution layer. 3 convolution layers are stacked before a maximum pooling layer in the third, fourth, and fifth stacks of convolution layer. The final layer is a dense layer that connects all the other layers together to produce a result. This is an architecture of the VGC model. The next is a redundant discussion. Deep learning based models have been proposed by the many authors to detect the disease because the pandemic is ongoing and spreading at a rapid rate. X-ray and CT scan images have been used to create those models implementation. So this paper explores how well deep learning models trained on just CT images can diagnose COVID-19 infected people in a fast and automated manner. To this end, they may have the clarity of every model and be able to propose a new model based on those deep learning architecture to achieve the best performance. Accuracy, precision, recall, specificity, and the fund score matrices are used for analyze the performance of all these models. This is a common formulas used for calculating all this performance metrics. Okay. So that this table performs a performance scores of various proposed models for detecting the COVID-19 non-chest images by generated by the numerous sources. So based on these comparisons, we may come to the conclusion that VGC 16% exception and the dense net has generated better result compared to the other networks. The conclusion: the novel coronavirus is an emerging pandemic disease that poses a severe threat to the health of many people if it is spread quickly throughout the world. Because it directly affects the lung cells, it can cause serious harm if not detected early. Immediate and long-term damage will be done, which could lead to death. As the rapid spread of COVID-19 continues, medical images added with the deep learning techniques are incredibly beneficial in providing faster and more precise results. The deep learning models for detecting coronavirus infection in lung images are examined and discussed in the study. Comparative studies have been conducted to determine the best methods for detecting and identifying the COVID-19 in chest CT images. Young researchers can use deep learning mechanisms to build an end-to-end system used in the primary hotspot for identifying COVID-19 cases. So these are the references used for this study.
Sumati ma'am.
Thank you.
Sumati ma'am, can you hear me? Hello, Sumati ma'am.
Ma'am, hello ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah.
மேம் ஆக்சுவலா உங்க சைடுல அங்க வந்து மியூட் பண்ணிடுறாங்க மேம். என்னால
Nice,
முடியல. அதனால தட்ஸ் a problem.
Okay, madam.
Presenters, very nice presentation, madam. Ankuja ma'am.
Srinivasan sir.
Anjugam ma'am.
Srinivasan sir.
Thank you,
madam.
ma'am.
Sir, அவங்க அஞ்சுகம் மேம்க்கு
Anjugam,
co-host கொடுங்க. அஞ்சுகம் மேம்க்கு co-host கொடுங்க சார். அவங்களும் பேசணும். இன்டராக்ஷன் செஷன்.
எனக்கு மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு வந்தா மறுபடியும் அன்மியூட் ஆகிறது கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமா இருக்கு மேம். அத கொஞ்சம் பார்த்து சொல்லுங்க. ஓகே சார்.
அஞ்சுகம் மேம் அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கிறங்க.
அன்மியூட் பண்ணி தான் இருக்காங்க அவங்க.
அஞ்சுகம் மேம்.
Yes, ma'am.
Anjugam ma'am. Okay.
Ma'am, I am here, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me, ma'am? Ma'am, shall I stop the presentation? Sharing, ma'am? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. You can
Indrani,
stop.
ma'am.
Yes, madam. Anjugam ma'am, you can revoke your screen. Okay, done.
Ma'am, you have mentioned accuracy. Accuracy means in what way you tell it is accurate, and also nowhere you have what mentioned that percentage or.
Ma'am, please, ma'am.
Hello,
ma'am. Tell me, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. I'm listening, ma'am. Please, ma'am. Hello. Indrani ma'am.
Sumati ma'am, you can raise your question.
Ma'am.
Sumati ma'am, you can raise the question to Anjugam ma'am. She is listening. Srinivasan sir, Sumati ma'am ku block ஆகுது பாருங்க. Srinivasan sir.
நான் பாக்குறேன் மேடம் பாக்குறேன்.
Sumati ma'am ku unmute பண்ணி விடுங்க.
Hello,
okay.
Ma'am.
Yeah. Sumati ma'am, you can raise the question.
I was asking many times. I hope now you are audible, ma'am. Actually, I was speaking. Okay. Now audible. Are you clear, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. You are audible, ma'am.
கொஞ்சம் அங்க மியூட் பண்ண வேண்டாம்னு கொஞ்சம் சார்ட்ட சொல்லிருங்க மேம். அதான் ப்ராப்ளம் ஆகுது. ஓகே, எனிவே மேம். பாத்துக்கலாம். அஞ்சுக மேம். ஹலோ.
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
சார், அந்த இவங்க சுமதி மேம்க்கு மறுபடியும் பிளாக் ஆகுது பாருங்களேன்.
மேடம் கோஹோஸ்ட் தான் கொடுத்திருக்கு. அந்த மைக்ல ஏதோ
ஓகே.
இல்லங்க.
நீங்க இப்ப கோஹோஸ்ட் தான் மேடம். நீங்களே அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கலாம் சுமதி மேடம்.
எஸ் மேடம்.
மேம் என்னோட ஆப்ஷன்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஐ அம் வெரி கிளியர் மேம். கரெக்ட்டா தான் இருக்கு.
எஸ் மேடம்.
ஓகே மேம். மேம் அஞ்சுக மேம். Ma'am, you have mentioned accuracy in many places.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
What way? Yeah. You have simply mentioned as 80, 90 like that. That means whether, I hope it's a percentage, yes, isn't it? Yeah. Accuracy means in what way it's accurate,
accuracies are generated by the existing authors, ma'am. I didn't do any implementation.
No, ma'am, you didn't do any implementation. Then only for the reference paper you put the accuracy, la.
Like, yes, ma'am. According to the reference paper, so what are the accuracy they have achieved?
Okay, ma'am. Have you implemented any part of your research work or any base paper work?
No, ma'am. I am in the survey. No, ma'am. I am in the latest survey stage.
Okay. Yes, okay. So far, what are all the challenges you have faced in deep learning? Hello?
Ma'am, I am studying only, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Then what is the purpose of choosing this deep learning, ma'am?
Ma'am, I'm in the initial stage and the literature survey stage, ma'am.
That's what I'm asking. What is the purpose, or somewhere
deep learning is
you were
is the best
motivated by some.
way.
Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am, it
What
is
I
deep
am
learning
asking is,
effectively detect the disease, ma'am.
ma'am, please wait.
Deep
Let me
learning
ask the question.
methods
Ma'am.
effectively detect. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Your voice also breaking, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Effectively.
Effectively detect the disease in the images. Medical imaging modalities like X-ray and CT images, ma'am.
Okay, then what's your plan to collect the data, ma'am? You have mentioned to cure it for COVID-19 data, no? So what is your plan to collect the data?
Right now I'm having an online data. Ma'am. I'm planning to collect the data from SRM hospital itself.
Ma'am, online data means
publicly available data set.
Yes, ma'am. Specific website, ma'am. There are so many
Publicly available
medical
data sets, ma'am.
There are so many medical data sets are available.
Gaggle data set. Gaggle, ma'am. Gaggle.
Gaggle website. Okay. Okay, ma'am. All the best. All the best for your research work, ma'am.
Thank you, Anjuga ma'am.
So much,
nice presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Shall I mute myself, ma'am?
Sure, sure. Yes, the next participants, Jayanti ma'am. Srinivasan sir, Jayanti madam ku co-host கொடுங்க.
Ma'am, Indrani ma'am, break ஆயிட்டு இருக்குங்களா? என்னோட voice இல்ல கரெக்ட்டா வருதுங்களா? Okay, எல்லாமே my side everything is correct, perfect, ma'am. That's what I'm asking.
It's perfect only,
okay.
Sir, madam.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Srinivasan sir, Jayanti ma'am வந்து
Yes,
co-host
ma'am.
கொடுங்க. Jayanti ma'am,
Yes,
can
ma'am.
you present?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, start, madam.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening,
Yes,
ma'am.
good evening, madam. Start,
Okay, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
very well audible. Yeah,
okay.
You start.
Good evening. Myself, D.V. Jayanti, working as assistant professor in Saurashtra College, Madurai. I'm going to present a paper on anomaly detection in IoT network using ensemble feature and deep learning approach. The number of Internet of Things devices deployed are increasing dramatically worldwide day by day. So apparently, DDoS attacks also has reached unprecedented levels. Internet of devices are inherently vulnerable due to insecure design, implementation, and configuration. So there is a need for timely detection of IoT attacks that has become imperative for mitigating the risk associated with these types of attacks. So when it is detected earlier, instantly it can promote network security as it accelerates the admin to alert earlier before the attacks takes place. So in this paper, I have developed an ensemble classification model to detect the anomalies in IoT network. This ensemble classification model is involved as a process in intrusion detection method that examines the presence of anomalies. So in general, an anomaly detection system, when intrusion detection system, when an user deviates from the normal behavior, it alerts the admin. This study mainly aims to reduce the computational complexity with the increased accuracy in detecting the anomalies in IoT network. And this is the architecture we have proposed. We are getting two input data set. One data set is IoT 23 data set, and another one is the that is a bot IoT in a DA IoT data set from IEEE board. And this model, we have designed it in 3 stages. The first stage is the pre-processing stage, and the second one is the feature extraction phase. Then the third one is classification. While classification, we have classified using the normal existing deep learning algorithms like SDT, KAN, DST, SVM, random forest classifier, and ANN separately. Along with that, we assembled all these outcomes using the voting prediction and stacked it and predicted the result. And then we compared the result of these models. So the methodology goes like this. Ensemble learning is a creative field in machine learning since it is based on the assumption that combining the output of multiple models is better than using a single model, as it is usually provides good results. So this feature, we have feature selection phase and then classification phase. In the feature selection phase, we applied univariate filter methods and for symmetrical redundancy, and we used multivariate MR filter method. And then after these selections by the two filters, it is compared and ranked using Spearman rank correlation coefficient method. And these features are used for classification. For classification, we used ensemble of deep learning models like SDT KAN, SDT SVM, random forest at ANN, which is combined with voting prediction phase. This ensemble method facilitates the synergy of detecting the intrusions in IoT network. The result of simulation shows that the proposed method achieves improved rate of accuracy, precision, recall, F-measure, and classification error than the existing methods. So the dataset we have used is, the first one is the IoT 23 dataset. This dataset has 23 subsets collected from the, executed from the IoT devices like a LED lamp, and then Amazon Echo Home Intelligent Personal Assistant, and a smart door lock. This has 20 malware captures and 3 captures of normal traffic. And this data set they have kept in the various subsets like malware 11, malware 31, honeypot 41, honeypot 51, honeypot 7. So totally 7 scenarios we used for testing. Apart from this, a lot of scenarios are available. We have selected these scenarios. And the protocols they have used to generate these data sets is HTTP, DNS, DHCP, Telnet, SSL, and IRC. The attack types available in these data set are DDoS, part of horizontal port scan, Mirai, CNC, heartbeat, file download, Okiri attacks. The other data set is the NDA IoT data set. This data set has 15 different data samples, and this is generated from 9 commercial IoT devices like doorbell, webcams, home devices. And the most of the traffic has Mirai attack type and Bashlight attack type. And if we see, the both of this has handled the Mirai botnet attack type, since it has frightened the users of that is web cameras in CCTV, which is connected with IoT. Some years back, we have concentrated for Mirai botnet attacks. The proposed system, in the proposed system, we have pre-processing layer to clean the data set for removing the missing values and removing the duplicate entries and columns and eliminating the null values. And then we encoded the numerical and values, nominal values. In the feature selection layer, we have used univariate filter first, then we use the multivariate filter. Univariate filter usually just filters the individual features using the ranking criteria. So the ranking criteria used for this are mutual information, feature score, and feature variance we have used. Then it removed the quasi-constant features are removed from the data using univariate filter method. In the multivariate filter method, we use MR method, minimum redundancy, maximum relevance, using the F statistic score and percent correlation coefficient for continuous features. We then compared this connection with the class and among themselves. This is connected by, then which is followed by a greedy search to find the most relevant and redundant features we use. So the mutual information quotient is a metric that measures the disparity between the amount of information that is retrieved and how much it is redundant. In order to handle multivariate temporal data without the previous data flattening, univariate filtering is used. This study used a MR method for feature selection. By averaging the values of F statistics from multiple time steps, the study determines the class variance. So after these filter methods, we used Spearman correlation coefficient to select the best significant features. Then in the classification layer, we use the ensemble method, which ensemble the output of SGTK, SGTK, SVM, RF, and NNN with voting prediction phase. We used a stacked generalization, which relies on learning from level 0 models and applying it to level 1 layer. And we used 5x cross validation for this one. And for performance evaluation, we use the measures like accuracy, precision, recall, F measure, and classification error. And for training and testing purpose, the dataset used is NBA IoT and IoT23 dataset. And for this 7 scenarios in IoT23, we performed this, trained the model and tested. After testing, the result of accuracy was shown like this. We calculated the accuracy and we found that the ensemble model has given the highest accuracy for all the things. And for the ensemble thing, it was very good. And we also calculated the sensitivity and specificity value also. And we also calculated the F measure. So this through this representation, we can know that the ensemble DL has given the high score. So in this paper, an ensemble feature and deep learning model is developed with the concept of voting prediction for IDS to find the anomalies in the network. Various methods on feature selection, including filter methods and feature ranking, helps in reducing the dimensionality of the features with a higher classification accuracy. The ensemble of SGT, KAN, SGT, SVM, RF, and ANN, the voting prediction model, classified the anomalies in IoT network traffic dataset. The utilization of two heterogeneous datasets effectively assesses the efficacy of ensemble framework. The simulation is conducted to test the efficacy of the entire model against the IoT network traffic, and the result of testing shows that the proposed method identifies the anomalies present in the traffic dataset and offers an improved rate of accuracy for the detection of anomalies in IoT network. Thank you.
Thanks for your presentation, ma'am. Jayanti, ma'am. Hello, Jayanti, ma'am.
Jayanti ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am is asking questions.
Yeah, thanks for your presentation, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
yes,
I hope you are audible. Yeah. Ma'am, according to your presentation, what I understood was you have proposed many works, but not yet implemented any other work, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is anomaly detection supervised or unsupervised, ma'am?
Supervised, ma'am, because we have used the data set which are labeled, so supervised.
Ma'am, actually, I think the most common version of anomaly detection is using the unsupervised approach, no? So there we train
for classification.
We train the machine learning model, to fit the normal behavior.
Yes, ma'am.
So most of the anomaly detections are unsupervised.
Anomaly detection is unsupervised, madam.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Then what are the works you have completed, ma'am, so far?
This is the one, ma'am.
No, ma'am. In your research methodology diagram, you have explained so many algorithms, no? Please show the diagram, ma'am. Ma'am, all those algorithms are available algorithms, or have you implemented any of your own work? Or in what way you are telling us it is proposed to work? Please explain.
Existing algorithms, ma'am.
But research means you have to research something, no, ma'am?
Yes.
Since you have used all the algorithms are already available algorithms, and pre-processing techniques also already available. You please concentrate on this. Proposed means you have to research. You have to propose something new.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. I think it's a beginning of the research work, isn't it, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, better you can implement now itself.
Okay, ma'am.
Then okay. Then what is the purpose of this stacked model, meta learner?
Yeah, stacked model. Yeah, trying to implement and compare the results, which increases the accuracy to check the accuracy.
Yeah, ma'am. When you are implementing itself, you compare the results, isn't it? Whether it is whether you get the good results than the previous one, everything when you are comparing the algorithm or when you are implementing its algorithm itself, you will get the result. What is a special? What is a special? Separate module of that stacked model? I don't get you.
No, ma'am, I don't.
Or you are putting the output of all the algorithms there.
Yeah,
I don't get
just
you.
we are checking how it is classifying the existing algorithm classification, how it is up to this data set.
Then what is meta learner?
We are stacking and doing voting prediction.
I can't get you, ma'am. What, ma'am?
Since we are ensembling.
Okay, then predicted class. Then?
Yeah, after prediction, we are
actually what is your output? What you are going
anomalies.
to? Yeah, ma'am. What is the result of your research actually here?
Ma'am, we are the attacks accurately.
Ma'am, is anomaly and outliers are same according to your work?
Actually, we are having the data set.
Or how do you identify anomaly detection and outliers?
Here we are concentrating on anomalies.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. But you are doing pre-processing and all. So you have to be very clear about outliers, ma'am. That is the purpose of pre-processing. How do you identify anomaly detection on outliers?
In the pre-processing, unwanted data we are removing.
Yes, ma'am. There are some differences. So you can identify. You please go through it. Huh?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, next polanga.
Ma'am, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Shall we move to the next participant, Dr. M. Ravi, sir? Dr. M. Ravi, sir, can you hear me? Srinivasan, sir?
இருக்கேன் மேடம்.
ஒரு ரவி சாருக்கு கோ-ஹோஸ்ட் கொடுத்துருங்க.
ரைட்.
ஓகே சார். Jayanti ma'am, you can move.
Indrani ma'am, how many participants, ma'am?
Totally 12 participants, ma'am.
Oh, they have registered now. Okay.
We can rush it out, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Already we have four pending.
We can rush it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Ravi sir,
you can also tell the participants, ma'am, in between if they are extend.
Okay. Okay, madam. Ravi sir, you can start your presentation, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir. Ravi sir.
Hello.
Sir, please unmute it. Sir, your voice is not audible, sir. Srinivasan sir, ஏதோ ப்ராப்ளமா சார்?
இல்ல அவர் ஆன்ல தான் இருக்காங்க மைக்கு.
But
சார் ரவி
voice இல்ல வரவே இல்லையே டோட்டலாவே. வாய்ஸ் கேட்கல.
Yes, ma'am. No voice. But இதுக்கே கொஞ்சம் டைம் ஆயிருச்சுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
Ravi sir? Ravi sir, can you hear me?
Better you unmute all, ma'am. If any disturbances, na, we can tell.
Problem there. Hello.
yes.
Yes, audible sir. Now only it is audible.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir. Continue, sir. You please continue.
So, this is M. Ravi, madam. Dr. M. Ravi. I'm an assistant professor and
Sir, I think your headphone is problem.
I've been working from. Hello. Hello. Can you listen to me, madam?
Yes.
Is it okay?
Oh, okay.
Today I'm discussing about my topic, a review paper, that is implementation of AI smart cities. Basically, I'm assistant professor and a Red Cross officer from my college, and I used to be a business person for most of the Red Cross programs, and I used to teach them how first aid and other concepts related to this one, first aid, and how the floods and other things, how to take care of this one. And basically, I'm a SPRT member, that is the state response team. Whenever there is any disaster, we will be the first person to be contacted. So on that basis, I just plan to write one particular this one review paper. So how exactly we can implement so that the sustainability can be easily implemented in the towns over here. So the outline of this particular event is abstract introduction, literature survey, framework, that how exactly this AI can be implemented in smart cities, and statistics and conclusion and references. So if you get into the abstract, a smart city is a city location which is predicted as a fact for exchanging technology to contrast moderate growth and enhance a pleasant existence and governance structure. Usually the authorities should be interconnected with the delivery and strengthen the grid system, construction, sensors, and strengthen the greenhouse and expand the communication that permits high tracking of get right of entry of healthcare, emergency, and different public services. So here, the smart cities are endlessly innovated with the aid of artificial intelligence. Due to the artificial intelligence utilization in the smart cities, these smart cities are being controlled like the traffic, the waste, keep up and as well as forecasting, energy consumption, pollution risk, and effects on environment. Smart cities causes the minor effects on climate change, and even there are smarter decisions can be taken up and improving the quality of life. In this article, we are looking at a different ways of artificial intelligence helping in all possible ways. So as you already know, artificial intelligence is one of the maximum advanced technology in our time, and noticing that we can use the AI for innovating for countless growth. So particularly about with this one, the smart cities which might be allowed through community generation coverage.
Ravi sir, you can go to your proposed concept, I think so.
Yeah, madam, this is the latest review.
Yeah.
Actually, I just had a review on this one, that how exactly the smart cities can be implemented over here. Generally, we'll be facing a lot of emergency risks in the smart cities as well as towns, and will not be having any kind of alert which will be provided for us. So usually, smart cities will be more developed with the sensors, network databases, city analysis, and quality and vulnerability, and other things can be easily grasped through AI. So what the conclusion of this paper is that if this kind of a framework, if we can implement in the smaller towns to make it very smarter, then most of the risks, disasters, and that other things can be easily eliminated, and we can easily get the responses as early as possible before any loss of life happens over there. So basically, the implementation fields of AI can be in the intelligence traffic management, waste management, public transport, controlling pollution, predicting the future needs, maintenance, energy tracking, and finally, the security. And most of the worldwide cities are like Singapore, Dubai, and all other cities which have been implemented have a very good effective responses over all kind of a climatical issues or any kind of a disasters or any kind of a thing that can be easily predicted in many of the cities. But but whereas our country is far behind this one. So when I working with the Red Cross, I thought that the sustainability and the artificial intelligence will be very helpful for our ecological balance. So how the smarter cities have been implemented in such a way that the AI is present in everyday life. And I hope that the implementation of these things in AI in our cities can make a big changes over the circumstances of getting rid of the risk that will be happening over there. So overall, AI is growing up every day in a more integrated part of cities further in landscape, and it is helping us to shape a smarter and efficient society, and already proven to be one of the most cool computer technology brought to the humanity. So overall, this particular paper is all about the review paper that how we can implement the AI technology in our day-to-day life so that we can get through these hazards. And the many papers have been suggested over here where they have mentioned the ecological balance and also the sustainability that has to be taken care. And we can use the big data, artificial intelligence, and machine learning in a proper way to shape out our cities to a smarter cities. So that's what I believe. This is what my conclusion is. Thank you.
Madam, Sumati Madam.
Thanks for your presentation, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, madam. Tell me.
Yes, sir. Sir, how is AI used in sustainability?
Yeah.
Or what are the objectives of AI implementation for sustainability?
Basically, what I particularly see is that we are basically working in a Red Cross society. So we will be helping all.
Sir, louder, please.
Hello. Hello, can you listen to me, madam?
Yeah, sir. Louder, please, sir.
So this is the maximum I can speak, madam. Hello.
Okay, sir. Okay, please.
So what we should do is that usually recently we have got award from the governor regarding this helping from our district. So many of the times when the risk comes into our daily life, like floods will be there and other aspects, the disasters will be there. We have seen we don't have any kind of intimations or analysis about what happens, except the weather forecast. We are not helping with any other aspect.
Or any idea for how this AI help in the responsible consumption and production, sir? Any idea?
Yeah. This is the best idea is that the AI usually the artificial intelligence. Wherever there is a need of energy consumption or any kind of pollutions are there, basically our sensors are the best thing that will be understanding what is the pollution, what is the oxygen level, and what are the forecasts. All everyday data. So every day into the system. Our AI system can track all the facilities that is required for.
Ma'am, shall we move to the next candidate, madam?
Yes, sir.
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you, sir. All the best for your implementation work. Thank you, sir. You can leave. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Uma Devi, madam.
Okay, ma'am.
Uma Devi. Uma Devi, madam. Srinivasan, sir.
மீட் பண்ணியாச்சு மேடம் அவங்கள.
ஓகே மேடம் உமா தேவி மேடம் அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கங்க. உமா தேவி மேடம். முத்துசெல்வி மேடம். சார் முத்துசெல்வி மேடம்க்கும் கொடுங்க. முத்துச்செல்வி. முத்துசெல்வி மேடம்.
மேடம் முத்துசெல்வி மேடம் கேக்குதா?
முத்துசெல்வி மேடம். Muthuchelvi madam. Uma Devi. I think some technical issues. Kirti madam, are you available? Sir, Kirti அவங்களுக்கும் கொடுங்க, அவங்கள பார்க்கலாம். பட் நமக்கு கேட்கல மேடம் வாய்ஸ். Yes, yes, Muthuchelvi madam, you can present your paper. Kirti madam, you please wait. Muthuchelvi madam, you have to present her paper. Please wait, Kirti madam.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Muthuchelvi
Okay,
madam, you start your presentation, madam. என்னாச்சு?
மேம் அவங்க பிரசன்ட் பண்ணல போட. மேடம் அவங்க பிரசன்ட் பண்ணல போல, மெசேஜ் அனுப்புறாங்க.
சார்
அவங்க பிரசன்ட் பண்ணல போல, மெசேஜ் அனுப்புறாங்க. சாரி ஃபார் இன்கன்வீனியன்ஸ்.
ஓகே ஓகே சார். சீனிவாசன் சார், இவங்க சுமதி மேடம் வந்து லேப்டாப்ல கனெக்ட் ஆகுறாங்க போல. சோ அவங்கள உள்ள இது பண்ணுங்களேன், அக்செப்ட் பண்ணுங்களேன்.
சரி.
ஓகே. Kirti madam, you present your paper.
Yes.
Low sound வருது. Kirti, you
Yes.
can you can present your paper.
I'm sharing the screen, ma'am.
Uma ma'am, please quit off, ma'am. Let her present the paper. Let Kirti madam present her paper, please.
My PPT is not, it has stopped, but I will start explaining till it opens.
No issue, you start madam, you start.
Yeah, it has stuck, it is running. Can you see the screen, ma'am?
No. You share the screen.
Yeah,
Now
I
you-
had shared.
Yes,
One-
now.
Yeah. Can you see the screen, ma'am?
Yes, continue madam.
Yes, 1 minute.
Ma'am, the time is limited, please continue as well.
Yeah, I will start, ma'am. I kept opened, but all of a sudden 1 minute. Yeah. Yes. So the paper I want to present is about simple trading strategy for prediction of stock prices. Can you see the screen?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So
Yes, madam.
myself, Kirti Mahajan, and I am pursuing PhD from Dr. Sampada Gulavni at Bharati Vidyapeeth, Pune University. So my PhD topic is hybridization of machine learning techniques to optimize portfolio. So just the abstract of this study is basically the objective of this paper is to develop a simple trading strategy using the current cutting edge machine learning technology, which can be implemented to predict simple trading signal. Okay, so here predicting stock prices direction using, here we are going to use the support vector machine, which is supervised learning. So here we are going to implement an end-to-end model using support vector machine to live trade for investors, which will be helpful for investors and brokers. And we all know that the stock market is very uncertain and very unpredictable. To solve this problem, that we are going to I had implemented this small model. So here, just in previous studies on trading signal in equity market has used different technologies, like they had used regression model, they had used decision trees, they had many of the researchers had used different classifiers, clustering and all. Here we are using that support vector classifier, which is a supervised learning model. So in this model, a set of training data is provided to the SVC algorithm, and each data which is going to belonging to one of the categories, such as buy or sell the stock. So in this paper, that the SVC, that support vector classifier, is used to build the model during it has some training phase and a testing phase. Okay, so during this training phase, and it assigns a new data into one of the categories, such as buy stock or sell stock. So the introduction about this is that stock market prediction and analysis are some of the most difficult jobs to complete, and this, for the stock market, here I'm using the NSC data. That is one script I had used from the NSC.
Ma'am, you can directly go to your concept, madam.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. I'll directly come to research methodology, ma'am.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. So support vector has worked well in many classification problems. So in this paper, I had used support vector classification algorithm for prediction of next day return. So here I had used the historical data of Infosys Limited, which is a software company listed script in Indian stock market, that in both BSE index and national stock exchange. So here I have taken 7 years OHLCV data, that is from 2015 to 2022, that April 26th. So the model is developed on Python. Here the tools and technologies are used are Python, and some libraries are sklearn, support vector classifier, that is SVC, and a Yahoo Finance to fetch the data, OHLCV data, to fetch the live data, you can say, and a Jupyter Notebook, which are the tools and technologies. Okay, so in first, this section first present the experimental data here. Initially, in first step, what I had done, that I had imported some libraries which are required to fetch the data. See, these are the libraries which I had implemented. NumPy, pandas for the data frame and all, and this sklearn.svm import SVC, this library is used to apply the model, that is a classifier model. Okay, so in the next step, what I had done, that read the stock data, we will read the stock data downloaded from the Yahoo Finance. Okay, so here we can fetch the live data from many ways, that you can use the APIs, broking firm API, some brokers API. Also you can use to fetch the data. You can use some alpha vantage, such sort of APIs are available where you can fetch the data directly from the websites. Here I had used Yahoo Finance website to fetch the data, and I can fetch any number of scripts. Here Indian stock market is having more than 8,000 listed companies, so that this is very crucial in the financial research, that equity, you can observe that, you know, after during the pandemic, investment in equity marketing has increased a lot. But whatever the research has been done so far, that is like that is very essential, that because this is very uncertain, minute by minute the data changes, and which is very uncertain. So I had tried some model, and even I had applied the deep learning also, one more model, but here I had used SVC using only few features, that open, high, low, close features I had used. Here I had read the stock data. So here I will read the stock data downloaded from the Yahoo Finance website, and the data is stored in the OHLCV format, which is stored in the CSV file. So to read this CSV file, we can use the read_CSV. Here I had directly downloaded and I had displayed here. Here you can see the Infosys script here, the OHLCV data, and on 26th April I had developed the model. So till here you can see the live data. If I run the model today, then it will get the data till today at this moment. So we can say this is the live data. So here I have downloaded the last data from 2015 to date. So what the data preparation, for the data preparation, what I had done here, the data needed to be processed before that so such that the date column here, whatever the date column here we had used, okay, date column should be act as an index to do the analysis. So that for that the library I had imported, that is import date time. Okay, you can see here price data infosys.index is equals to pd.to_date time. This is for the purpose to convert this date column as a index column to do a better analysis. In the next step, what we have done is that we are going to define an explanatory variable, or you can say the independent variable, which are used to predict the values response variable. Here the variable, that is price_data_infosys open and minus close and high minus low. See here, the X is a data set that holds the variables which are used for prediction, and this X, what you can and the X which consists of variables such as open minus close, open minus close. This is the variable, this is the X variable, price_data infosys open minus close. This is explanatory, this is the independent variable which is being used for used as a training data set. Okay, these can be used as an indicators. This open, close, high, low are used as an indicators. Here you can use many other indicators such as technical indicators, fundamental indicators, or a macroeconomic indicators for the prediction purpose. Technical indicators like moving average convergence data, moving average data, RSI, or a fundamental indicators such as net profit margin, or a return on equity, or P ratio. Like this, you can use many of the technical indicators or fundamental indicators as indicators. But here I had used open, low, high, close as a indicators, which are based on which the algorithm will predict tomorrow's trend. So here, by using this indicator, we got this data of this Infosys. Next, what we had done is we are going to define the target variable. So what is target variable here is the target variable is the outcome which the machine learning model will predict based on the independent variable. So
Kirti, you please try to conclude, Kirti.
Yes, ma'am. See, this is after applying that I had split the data. I had splitted the data.
Kirti madam, come to your conclusion.
1 minute, ma'am. See, as you can see that we can set a strategy seem to be totally outperforming here, because we have got the accuracy level of this training accuracy is 52% and testing accuracy is 50%. So here the accuracy of 50% show that the model is effective. Here 0 and 1 I had mentioned here. Here the 1 means it gives the buying signal, 0 means it gives the selling signal. So here the conclusion is support vector has worked well in many classification problems. So in this paper we had used classification algorithm for prediction of next day return. So the history.
Okay, ma. Thanks for your presentation.
Yes.
Yeah. Why do we always say that SVM is an example of large margin classifier? Any specific reason?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Yeah. We used to say always the SVM is an example of large margin classifier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you justify why?
Ma'am, I'm not getting the question.
Sorry, I'm getting a call. Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah.
See, you can see this.
SVM classify? Can SVM classify more than 2 categories, Kirti? Categories, or it can be used for multiple categories?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
And this is one strategy, but I had implemented deep learning model LSTM already. So that works better actually than this.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, all the best for your future work. Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, Kirti, very nice presentations and clear explanation of your concept.
Yeah.
We can call the next, I think last participant, Saraswati madam. Are you available? Saraswati madam, you can unmute your mic and speak.
How many participants are there, ma'am?
Madam, only one is the remaining, ma'am. Some other want to next day to present the paper.
Okay. Thank you.
Saraswati madam, can you hear me? Please unmute the mic, madam. Saraswati is in line only.
Ma'am, clearly. Hello. Ma'am.
Yes,
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Your voice.
Okay, thank you.
Saraswati ma'am, you start presenting the paper, madam. You can start your presentation.
Ma'am, I am Saraswati. Annamalai University research scholar. My topic is multidimensional and multitask deep learning of alopecia areata identification and diagnosis. Once again, ma'am. The most of the people suffer from scalp care problems like dermatolosis, baldness, and other disorders as a result of poor lifestyles, vitamin deficiency, and other factors. Alopecia areata disease and reduction is my research topic.
Saraswati ma'am, what about your screen sharing, madam?
Once again, ma'am.
Please share your screen, ma'am.
Share your screen and voice is not audible clearly.
I'm okay, ma'am. Hello.
Audible, ma'am, but you please share your screen. Now your audio is also not coming.
Now, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you please start.
Okay. The most of the people. So the main goal of machine learning So this article proposes a multitask deep learning systems which utilize the multitasking faster residual convolutional neural network with long short-term memory, a faster RCC and LSTM model to recognize AA and SCOL prediction together. The main goal of the multitask learning is to use an additional shared encoder to enhance the recognition of accuracy AEA and SCOL curve symptoms. These models, the SCOL and AA images are initially fed into LSTM encoders and the faster RCC and encoder to extract the global and local feature representation from the images to different scales. Those features are fused. Those images are fused to obtain the final feature in representation. A fully connected layer followed by the softmax classifiers to deduct the various conditions of your alopecia areata disease reduction and call predictions. Next one.
Saraswati ma'am, please say a little bit louder, ma'am. Audible is not clear. Okay. Am I correct, Indu ma'am? Indrani ma'am?
Audible irukku ma'am ipoldu.
Ma'am, I am not audible clearly. Your voice is not audible actually.
Yeah, I can read well. That's it.
Isopy and microscopy to reconnect, ma'am. Audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes, madam.
Okay. Isopies and microscopies are recognized the diagnosis alopecia areata, ma'am. So machine learning and deep learning systems used for many techniques, support vector machines, nearest neighbor algorithms, decision, and also more than one technique use are applied in the healthcare systems. So it needs a simultaneous recognition of AAA and the SCOL condition to guide the proper diagnosis. Some major issues to detect alopecia areata. So the manual infections to assess the state of a patient's SCOL care in current mode, popular techniques in SCOL care physical treatment. So the two major challenges are with associated with care service in recent hairdressing industry. Due to regular staffing level of hairdressing business and organizations have invested to cost consistently to enhance the physiotherapy skill set. Even among professional physiotherapists in same professional trainings of a SCOL care microscopic picture varies, such discrepancy to diagnosis the result interpretations attributed to lack of expertise. So the objective, the multitask deep learning is developed based on the multitask faster RCC and LSTM models to identify the AAA and SCOL. So the system has objective of employing additional shared encoder to increase the efficiency of identify AAA and SCOL conditions. Initially, those images, SCOL and hair images are passed into LSTM encoders and faster RCC encoders, the global and local features at the different scales. So those features are merged to get the final feature vector representation. Finally, the fully connected layers followed by a softmax classifier to classify the and diagnose the AAA and SCOL conditions. The next, the literature reviews. The title is the development and experiment evaluations of machine learning techniques for an intelligent scaffold detection systems. Those techniques are used. ML technique use, VIVO, DAO, decision trees, linear decision algorithms, SVM, KNN. Those techniques are used in the title of the paper, application medical image analysis. This approach could identify the features of an image at a variety of SCOL measurements. Then next one goes to topographical phenotypes of alopecia areata. So these prediction level and grading systems using decision trees. Decision trees techniques are used. So the highly reliability which must easily applied in the clinical practice. The next one, trisopies of alopecia areata. So this one used to the techniques how transform contract stretching and Hemmings clustering algorithms, less computational complexity. The next paper, pre-trained classification.
Saraswati ma'am, please move on to your work.
Okay, ma'am. So the proposed methodology to multi-faster RCCN with LSTM to describe briefly identifying and diagnosis of AAA. So those images are applied to train a multitask Foster RCCN LSTM model. To train model is used to categorize the test samples into healthy and differentiate different conditions of AAA. So those images, CARE and SCOLF images of healthy and AAA are acquired from a publicly available database. So the two types of data. So the two databases are collected from publicly available database to train with apply multitask Foster RCCN method, to train a classification model and to test the image to classify AA level and the SCOLF deduction level. So the AA levels, the three types, mild and moderate and severe. So the multitask deep systems, multitask learning, deep learning systems. So the data are collected from CARE and SCOLF images, Terminate and Figaro database. So the both the images are passed to a global encoder, and to obtain the global future representations, then next local encoder to produce a local future representation to fuse the merged with two futures to produce a final future representation. Then next go to fully convey layer, the softmax classifier to classify the two levels of alopecia areata and SCOLF deductions. So this is adversarial multitask learning. So the multitask learning adapt adversarial multitask learning models to enhance the architecture of encoders. So the SCAP and call images in two databases are allocated, two future space, one for global and another one for local, and global encoder to obtain the hair image futures. Obtain only hair image futures, the independent of AA, with local future utilized to obtain the SCOLF images that are more relevant to AA level. So the AA image, the global future and the local futures image extract by two encoders. So the global encoders and the local representation of an image to occur after pooling. The general adversarial network is a create a global space comprising pure data to local space. So the global representation of image is free for classification, guaranteeing a global inspection of an image is free of classifications. So the main aim of multitask learning to differentiate AA conditions of a multiple individual under the different type of hair losses. The global encoder to apply to train the common features such as texture, shapes, and colors between. Then merit of global encoders to the each image travel through a global encoder. The discriminator assigned to a adversarial multitask learnings to train the sample encoder to independent to promising of the image shows. The local encoder is assigned to the classify the AA images to learn the semantic features of the associated with local features. The presence of orthogonal restraints to create the training sample of a local encoder as relevant classification is possible. So the input of the classifier, the future representation is obtained by global features and local features of an image. So the outcome is a classification of the result. So the image encoder, those images are local images, global images passed through a LSTM, then future extraction to train the global future to train the model, then max pooling to produce a global characteristic. Then Foster RCCN, the AAA images sent to the LSTM model and SCOLF images are sent to Foster RCCN model, local features. Then to obtain to train the model to obtain a characteristic of a initial local representation. Then those features are a fusion, that is merge the two characteristics to produce a final future representation. Then then after softmax classifier to classify the two levels of the AAA and SCOLF deductions. So the image encoders, then two levels, local encoders and local encoder. The LSTM encoder to encode the images, a global futures. Then LSTM to encode the images utilizing image of classification, but also the local features of a multiple scales of images. So the architecture of encoder which capture local image features in multiple scale. The multiple fast CNN encoder is currently capture global features of an image. So to merge two features to produce a local or a global future representations. So adversarial network, adversarial models when they utilize an LSTM encoder to encode an image, it is assumed that there is only a global features of an image and neglect the features of an image to some content. Across convention merged with LSTM models to encode an image utilizations and global feature of an image for classifications, but also local features of a scales of an images. A local image features of multiple scales of a faster RCCN model to capture global features of an image from LSTM encoder and merge to produce entirely a local and global future representations. So these are LSTM architecture. So the three types of LSTM architecture, the three gates are stratified such as a forget, input, and output gates. So the forget gate, the forget and input, it adopts the dependent data LSTM unit in efficiently prevents the issues of gradient explosion and vanishing. So the forget gate to compute the level of forgetting the data scores and presented by ongoing LSTM unit. The second one, the role of input gate is to eliminate how the present data included input gate, how the present data included in the data sources. So the data travel from input to forgot dates. Then LSTM fine tunes their units. LSTM fine tunes their units and find that it is consecutive LSTM unit. So the output gate merge the input and forget gate to compute the result in present LSTM models. So the function of encoder to capture the global characteristics of an image to create a global future map. So the LSTM unit, the process repeat the initial stage input feeder into a LSTM gate. The result of the image characteristics, the present period is sent to the consecutive LSTM unit. So the process repeated until a successive images until every future traverse a valley the LSTM unit to obtain the related the present image characteristic. So this is a global future extraction representation of using LSTM unit to train the model. So this is the initial stage input to the the both images are sent to LSTM method, LSTM, and the result gets the image characteristics of present period is sent to the consecutive LSTM unit. The process repeated until successive images until every future traverse valley LSTM unit to obtain the present image characteristic.
Saraswati madam, you can conclude your work, madam.
So the 70% of images are taken from training and remaining 30% of images are taken. Comparative analysis is presented in the demonstrate its effectiveness and compare the model based on the different evaluation metrics. So both classification models are choose Foster RCCN, ImageNet, and VGGF, SVM, and HTM network efficient and YOLO algorithms to detect errors. And experimental is proved a multi-faster RCCN and LSTM model to have on the database is 95. Accuracy is compared to other models.
I think you have some technical issues. I was not able to listen properly, ma'am. Actually, what
Hello,
you are
ma'am.
saying. Anyway,
can you hear me, ma'am? Can you hear me, ma'am? 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 Can you hear me, ma'am? Hello, madam? Hello? Madam, can you hear me, ma'am? Hello. Madam? Hello.
Saraswati ma'am.
Ma'am?
Sumati ma'am, you can raise the question.
Yeah. Based on my observation only, I can ask you, Saraswati ma'am. Actually, I was not able to listen. I think you have some technical issues. Saraswati ma'am?
Okay, ma'am. I'll tell you.
What is the nature of your database, ma'am?
Figaro
I
one,
had some
two databases, ma'am.
No? So what is the nature of the database?
Publicly available database, ma'am. Is publicly available database. Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am, Indrani ma'am, sorry.
Madam?
I'm not able
Ma'am,
to hear.
can you hear me?
Her voice.
Hello.
Indrani ma'am.
Hello.
It's okay, ma'am. It's okay. Leave it, madam. No issue. We can move to the next one. Saraswati, madam, thanks for your presentation, madam.
Thank you very
Actually,
much.
the voice is not clearly audible. Only mildly we can observe our words. So even
Okay.
though we have observed only your presentation, madam, actually the voice is not at all audible.
Anyway, all the best for your future.
Anyway, thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your work, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
We can move to the last candidate, Dr. Ravi Kumar. Dr. Ravi Kumar, sir.
Yes, madam. I am available, madam.
Yeah. You can present the concept, sir. You can directly go to the proposed concept. Yes.
Okay, madam. I share my PPT.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
It is visible, madam?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam. I am Dr. K. Ravi Kumar, Assistant Professor, Tamil University, Tanjavur. My topic is secure multi-party computation using cryptography techniques. The objective of my research is to design security model for public key cryptography using elliptic cryptography method. And also another objective is to design multi-party computation digital signature using elliptic cryptography. And I design elliptic digital signature algorithm with multi-party system allows to use smaller key size and therefore speed up the entire process. These are my objective of my paper. So, introduction about this paper. Elliptic cryptography is an approaches for public key cryptography. ECC is a set of algorithms for key generation, encryption, and decryption is based on the asymmetric cryptography method. Asymmetric cryptography is a very marvelous technology. We have used this. Public key crypto system it is used for mobiles and wireless environment. In the elliptic cryptography is based on the
cryptography method. You can go to directly to the concept, sir.
Okay, madam. My concept is based on the digital signature method, madam. So digital signature is authenticity of a digital message or document. It is based on the electronic signature is an electronic data digitally signed by message bit string, digitally signed verifying the authenticity of a digital message. The electronic signature is an asymmetric cryptography based on the signatures. The electronic signature, it contains data in the electronic form. It provides secure and accurate identification method. It also contains multi-party system. I proposed the model for multi-party system. It contains two or more parties to jointly compute a function. Online transaction related to banking service is a multi-party system. It is also based on the electronic multi-party payment system. It contains a signature generation scheme, and also it is another signature verification scheme. Two schemes is based on this multi-party system. The elliptic curve diagram is given is that the positive side and the negative side, 0 and the x-axis, 1, 2, 3 axis, and y-axis 2, 4, 6 values. These are the values taken by my research paper. In the elliptic cryptographic characteristics, it offers a very greater security comparing with the other RSA and DES algorithm. It contains very smaller key size, also possible to make compact with the other level of security. It is efficient, compact hardware implementation available in the ECC operations. So in these ECC operations, we used the algorithm. In the algorithm, it contains plain text and ciphertext. We select any one private key, it is noted as N, and generate a public key based on the private key. P1 is equal to N into G. These are the public key we have used in this concept. And to encrypt a message, to send a message P to B, choose a random positive integer K and produce a ciphertext based on the random positive integer K. C equal to KG P plus KP1. These are the algorithms I used in this proposed algorithm. And also decryption process, I used this decryption process, multiple first point pair of P, secret key, subtract the result from the second one. That is P plus KP1 minus N KG equal to P plus KGN minus N KB. It reaches as a P. So we reached a plain text B. These are the algorithms used in this paper. The NIST, National Institute of Standard Technology, used recommended key size is RSA and Diffie-Hellman key size, 1024 key size bits taken in the RSA and Diffie-Hellman, comparing with the ECC only 160 bits taken. In RSA, 2048 bits taken, ECC only 224 bits taken. RSA 3072 bits taken, only it is taken, ECC is 256. RSA 7068 and ECC 384 only. RSA 15360 and only ECC is 512. We comparing with all public algorithm, RSA is a very low bit size of key taken in this. Comparing with the security level, relative computation cost, Diffie-Hellman elliptical cryptography, comparing with the security level 80 bits, DH cost 3:1, EC cost 3:1, 112 bits 6:1, 180 bits 10:1, 198 bits 32:1, 256 bits 64:1. These are the very low cost comparing with the other public algorithms. So it is very used in the multi-party digital signature. A group of individual key generate a partial signature based on the elliptical cryptography security algorithm. We generate multi-party digital signature and verify the signature and accept the signature for the multi-party. So comparing with the ECC, other public crypto system, we study about the comparative analysis of ECC and other cryptography. We have taken AES, DES, RSA, SHA, MD5 and ECC. Comparing with all other algorithms, ECC key size very low bits comparing with the public algorithms, comparing with the RSA and Diffie-Hellman algorithm. Memory size in bits is very low because it taken only 70 comparing with the RSA 28. Encryption time is 0.7 comparing with the RSA 7.3. Decryption time is 0.6 second comparing with the 4.9 in the RSA. So other RSA is also public algorithm, but based on the ECC is the best algorithm in the security level. I used the comparative method for ECC performance with RSA. X-axis taken cryptography strength in bits, Y-axis operations per second. It is a graph based on the Intel 64-bit ECC RSA performance, 80% restarts. So it contains the graphical values. So ECC is better than comparing with RSA algorithms. My conclusion is elliptical cryptography provides greater security and more efficient performance. ECC offers equivalent key security level with smaller key size. ECC provides faster computation, low power consumption, memory and bandwidth savings. ECC is also used for the low power device such as mobile and other handheld devices. These are my conclusion, madam. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Sir, thanks for your presentation, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Simple questions. Actually, even though it's more secure than, you have shown many other algorithms, even though it's more secure than those algorithms, it's not widely used. Is there any particular reasons you can say?
Yes, madam. It is, my reason is ECC public algorithm RSA is a similar algorithm. Diffie-Hellman is also public key, but comparing with the ECC, my opinion is I implemented in ECC in a small.
One more doubt: have you implemented all the algorithms?
No, madam.
So
I implemented only
five, six algorithms, isn't it?
that is a comparative study, madam. I implemented only ECC, madam. Already we have implemented in RSA and other
How can
research.
you compare, sir, without implementing all those algorithms? Since the
I based on the literature.
The test beds are not same for all, no? So you can't simply compare with the data, sir.
I compare based on my base paper and the literature survey based on the IEEE paper, madam. So this comparison is able based on the my literature.
Sir, what I'm asking is actually here you compare the CCC with the many algorithms, AES, DES, and everything. If you put this comparative analysis, means definitely you have to implement all those algorithms. Then only you can compare memory size. Since it may vary from time to time, data to data. So you can't simply compare without implementing all those algorithms. You can't simply compare. That is one more point. One point, sir. Important point. You have to concentrate.
Okay, madam. Sorry, madam. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Madam, shall we conclude?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your presentation, sir. Madam, Sumati ma'am, thank you very much for your cooperation as well as your valuable questions, madam, as well as your valuable suggestions. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Ma'am, please unmute your mic, madam. It's not audible.
Oh, very sorry, very sorry. In fact, I should thank you for giving me this very good opportunity, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Shall we wind up, ma'am?
Thank you, ma'am.
Shall we?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can wind up. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Participants, tomorrow around 11 o'clock, please be on time. Tomorrow around 11 o'clock, Professor Pandaraswamy will give the sessions. So please be on time around 11 o'clock. Now we can wind up the session.